Hi, well, I'm just going to talk to you about the World Champs from this year. I went out to help the England team along with Matt Godfrey, James Dent and Cameron Hughes. Felt like we could probably help out a bit. We've all got a bit of international experience between us, and the team was strong, very strong. Some great anglers in there, good management, and I think everybody was confident that they could do well, certainly on a rowing course. And actually, I've never fished on a rowing course before, and for those that haven't fished on a rowing course or seen a rowing course where fishing takes place, which I'm not expecting many people will have done because it's a long time since they used places like Home Pier Point, but in Bulgaria there's a big long rowing course at Plovdiv. They specifically stocked fish in there for the championships, Carasio and carp being the main species. What an effort to do something like that. Shows what it means to countries to host this event. Sort of opened my eyes a little bit. I'd love to see something like that here. We've got loads of fisheries with loads of fish that often just get destroyed because they're not wanted. Roach and silverfish. Love to see some sort of program to stock somewhere to give us some sort of national venue. I think we deserve it, I think we warrant it, and I think people would use it and it'd be used for lots of events. So something maybe food for thought there, I would have said. The match itself was interesting, very interesting. When we arrived on Thursday, the guys were not struggling because it wasn't that sort of venue, but they were catching a few fish, and I could tell they weren't entirely comfortable with what was going on. They'd had a great day Wednesday, didn't seem to be happening Thursday. It was like one step forward, two steps back, and I think that they had to try and look at different ideas, and that's always going to be difficult. That's where people like myself and the other guys can help, because they can look around, look at what the other teams are catching. Often you'll think, oh, I'm not catching a lot, and it'll turn out that you are doing really well, but the other team's giving you the wrong idea, or you think you're doing well and other teams are catching more. So it's important to see what people are catching. Now, when we went and had a look, the Czechs actually were catching very well. The Italians were catching very well. So it was important to go and have a look at those teams. The main tactics were Waggler. It was pretty clear the match was going to be won on the Waggler, won and lost on a Waggler. And the guys are brilliant at it, really are. A lot of us put a lot of hard work into it. Depth was around about 8 foot, bit of an in-between depth, so they had sliders and fixed wagglers set up. England felt they could get a bit of an edge by fishing that little bit further. Didn't really pay off that way. A lot of the fish were actually closer to the bank as it happens, but where we caught some fish, and I think in our results it showed we had a very, very good method, and maybe with a little bit of a rubber elsewhere, we might have won gold. I'll give you an example. We've actually had, Des was second in the match first day, come second in this section. And I believe William was third in the match first day. And then on the second day, Callum Dix was second in the match and Steve Emmingray won the match from other two sections. So it proved to me that our tactics were right because we were winning with them. It was just that if the fish moved or they weren't quite in your area, maybe there needed to be something else there. That's hindsight. It's very, very difficult to tell when you're fishing a match if that's going to be the case. On the first day, I ran the bank for Alan Scotthorne, one of the greatest slider anglers, one of the greatest waggler anglers of all time, no doubt about that. He did really well, I felt. He caught 12 Carasio, fished a nice match, but you needed a carp. A dozen people in his section caught a carp and he didn't catch one. I just felt that was bad luck. He actually caught one and it swam into somebody's line next to him, which in a World Champs means it's disqualified. Now, I actually think that's a ridiculous rule. I think it seriously needs looking at. The pegs were 11 metres apart. If you hook a carp at 50 turns of the reel, how on earth are you supposed to stop it going left or right in order to not tackle up with the guy's line next to you? Surely in fishing we can have a gentleman's agreement that if you do get taffled up or snagged up in the next line, then that person releases his bail arm and allows the fish to come on. You're not going to deliberately do that because it stands more chance of coming off. So I don't understand what the problem is. It definitely needs looking at. Used to be out of your zone, which was complete rubbish, and obviously they have reviewed it to allow now for the lines, but Alan had the carp on and he had to put it back because of the fact that it went into the next guy's line. That one fish would have pushed him to probably third, but definitely fourth in his 17 pegs. As it happened, he finished 10th, so that was really unlucky. We lost a lot of points there. And then obviously that meant that we finished the first day with 23 points. A decent score, but Hungary had scored 12. They deserve a special mention for me. They had a nice little tactic fishing next to the nets, picking up a few small fish when in that middle period it might be a bit quieter. Did that win them gold? Possibly. Possibly it did win them gold. I think they did well anyway, to be fair to them. I think it would be unfair to say that just that one tactic got them the gold medal, because they fished fantastically well on the Waggler, so it was very close anyway, but I think that definitely secured it for them, so well done to them on that. Well done for recognising it, to be honest. That left us in fourth. I felt that a medal was unlikely, if I'm being honest, even though we were going to give it 100%. Italians, Czechs and the Hungarians had a great score, so we were actually fourth. And that meant that we went for it second day. Absolutely gone for it. Waggler, we needed 5 section winners or equivalent in order to get a medal. It was looking great. After 2.5 hours, we definitely had 4 section winners out of 5, which is incredible. Wasn't quite working out for Sean, but that's how it goes. This is what I'm saying about the venue. Brilliant anglers, just didn't seem to be working for him. I think that, you know, it was a bit of bad luck there, and the fish just weren't feeding at where he was and where he'd chosen to fish. Maybe if he'd have been a few pegs either way, or if he'd have fished shorter, he might have caught them, but you don't know that. You make your decision on what you do, so that was always going to be tough. We had a good score, and actually a couple of our anglers slipped back because of late fish for other teams. I actually ran the bank for Will Raisin. It's really weird when you're running the bank. You become so invested in what that person is doing. Obviously, they're going to be a lot more passionate about the end result than you are, because it's their own result. But you feel it, you know, you really feel it. Every hooked fish, every missed bite, everything, you're feeling it through you. And I really, really wanted Will to do well, and he was doing brilliant. To be honest, if he'd waited a minute after 2.5 hours, he'd have won the section by a mile. Fish just absolutely shut up shop for him, moved off. I felt he didn't do anything wrong. I felt he fished in the right way. He's had a carp 2 kilos swimming to the next guy's line. He had no chance. 2 kilo carp, you hook it, and it's, before you know it, it's over there. So even somebody who's as brilliant as he is at playing fish couldn't stop it, which is what I'm on about. Hooked the guy next to him, and he got it in, and he had to put it back, and he's lost the section by 700 grams, and that's cost him being world champion. He's ended 5th individual, brilliantly consistent, but I know that another world championships would have been fantastic for him, and thoroughly deserved, to be honest. So that was really hard. That was hard to watch as well. But it is a team thing, and I know that Will's ultimately wants the team to win and do well. So when we managed to pull it back to secure a bronze medal, it was a good result, to be honest. The Italians had a not so great day. We had a similar score to the day before. Like I said before, Steve, Em and Callum both winning the sections, first and second in the match. It was really, really interesting. I was just seeing if I've got any... I have actually got some sliders here. You know, they were fishing with these sorts of floats. For those of you that don't know what sliders are, they were fishing with big sliders. There we go. This one's absolutely perfect. 3 plus 12, something like that. Okay, and they were fishing with these because they were fishing 50 turns. You have your bulk, the float rests against your bulk, chuck it out, the bulk slides down and sets the float. And obviously once you're fishing, they can read what's going on at distance, and they're fishing for carp and things like that. So obviously that was a key tactic and something that was really, really important to them all. But at the same time, so was fixed Waggler. They changed, different presentation, a slower fall, accurate feeding with a catapult. All these things were massive, and I felt that it shouldn't be lost, really. I think that in the past we always expected England to win or do well, but there's 34 teams from across the world fishing this event. You've got to be, not only have you got to be brilliant, but you've got to do well. Now Poland good friends of mine, some of the Polish team. They've been ranked number one in the world, which is off your last 5 years of results in the World Championships. For a little while now, I think at least 2 years, and maybe 3 years. And they came really low down, probably 18th, 19th. You know, England don't often have a result like that. They've got a medal again. And that's put them second in the world rankings now. And the Czechs have gone above them. The Czechs, nobody really thinks about them, but there's some great guys there. You know, they've got some fantastic anglers in their team. And as a result, they are now ranked number one. They finished second overall this year. So you can see how hard it is to do well. There's certain teams that seem to consistently do well. We're constantly trying to up our game. So is everybody else. It really is competitive. And I think if you walk away with a medal, it's not to be dismissed. Second in the Euros. Third in the Worlds. I'm sure if you combine Euros and Worlds, we are the number one. So it's really, really interesting to see, and I am, you know, we should be proud of that result. Anyway, that's it. That's the World Champs this year. A good battle. I think it's in Belgium next year. No doubt it's going to be another great match. Hopefully England can have the gold medal. We'll all be building towards it for next year. Keep up to date with the blog. Be catching up with next week's Feeder Masters very soon. Cheers. Bye.